Welcome, dear audience, to This Week in Clown World, the video series dedicated to reliving the events of the simulation because yes, it really happened, and no, we weren't dreaming. Oh lordy lordy, what a clown week we have had. And to think, when I started this video series back in January, I honestly thought I would struggle to find enough material every week, but my god, it just never ends. Now, as tradition, I usually start my videos focusing on the Soviet Kingdom, you know, because of the sheer level of clown that goes on here. But events have come to pass elsewhere that I did not have on my bingo bucket of diarrhea card, so therefore it has to be the opening of the clown world. Yes, to absolutely no one's surprise, we're heading straight to France to get your white flags out. Their president just got beaten up by his husband. Yes, as the midget Macron was about to deboard his plane after landing in Commie Land, Vietnam, the door swung open and his PDF file husband Brigitte, who may or may not be a man, gave him an LG TV knuckle sandwich right in the face, and midget Macron was so startled he straight up shat himself in front of the entire world. What in the name of sacre bleu is going on here? Well, no one knows what happened to cause this, but as an internet bigot, I'm going to make up the rest in my head. While on the plane, Macron's husband found his Charlie baggie on the table, and as he tried to pass it off as a napkin, suddenly he realised he didn't have the entire media apparatus to claim it was a Russian disinformation campaign propagated by far-right extremists. And that pissed his husband right off and proper twatted him in the face for lying. But because it happened in front of the entire world, immediately the mainstream media came to his aid just like it did on a train and all parroted the line that he was only fooling around with his husband, and anyone who wonders what on earth is going on here, they are indeed a far-right extremist parroting Russian disinformation. Oh sweet mother of human milk, where would we be without the mainstream media to run protection campaigns for the government while shitting in our faces with absolute garbage like this? You don't have to be far-right or Russian to be noticing some really weird Shiite is going on with the elite ruling class right now. And for anyone confused on why I keep calling that thing Macron's husband, strong rumours that is no woman, is actually a 72-year-old man. Also pretty much a PDF file because he did the no-no touch on Macron when he was 14 years old and he was his teacher. And somehow no one seems to care. Yeah, I'm getting wood chipper vibes from this. Alright, what's next? Well, Liverpool won the Premier League and then there was a really big parade, but then for reasons that no one could work out, some bloke decided he would ram into the crowd in his car. And everybody was like, my god, it's the usual suspects, isn't it? Just like the laundry list of other car rammings. But dear audience, if you are that bigoted that you'll notice a trend in Western worlds, then you would be wrong. Dead wrong with AIDS, because it was actually a white British bloke and the government were very eager to tell us that, and it wasn't Ahmed the boatman, so stop being a bunch of dirty bigots for noticing the other 99% of times. Well, they just straight up told us the demographics of the attacker immediately, eh? But don't worry, they won't tell us all the demographics all the time, just when it suits their narrative. Because when it is the usual suspects, we don't want the people to notice that now, do we? It's illegal. But then, just a few days later came another story from the Soviet Kingdom that filled this nation with hope and pride, dispelling those black clouds. Keir Stalin, the Prime Minister of the Soviet peasants, is so shite scared of Nigel Farage, who is the leader of a party with only 5 MPs, that he legit called a press conference to tell everyone how Nigel Farage is totally bad. And he's doing this when the next general election is in 4 years' time. Oh, he's pretty scared right now. He's basically doing what the Democrats did with Trump, where their only policy is to say the other guy's really, really bad and naughty. It didn't work now, did it? But that's not the only clown part of this. Far from it. It's the fact the media, even The Guardian and the BBC, who are the most batshit retarded media outlets out here, even going as far as to run defense campaigns to get him elected in the first place, instead absolutely humiliated him on the stage. Because they were telling him that he's a boring robotic fraud who no one in the country even likes, and maybe up until now all of his policies have made this country an utter shithole. And I'll be honest, I can't even do this justice. You'll have to go watch the videos of Stalin getting soggy biscuited by the media. It is hilarious. And legit, there is hope that this country might actually be able to vote their way out of this. Even if it has to be the Reform Party headed up by a guy who makes his decisions based on a Guardian hit piece. Alright, enough of that. What happened next? Well, remember last week when I mentioned about those two police officers who beat, tasered and pepper sprayed a 92-year-old amputee man in a wheelchair who was in a very confused state due to medical issues while holding a small knife? You know, basically on easy mode to disarm or just not do anything because he's 92 years old and also in a wheelchair. Well, they had their court case for assault, and because of reasons only known to the weak men part of the cycle, the police officers were cleared of any wrongdoing. Well, very brave. British coppers are the envy of the world, they say. I mean, this is how bad it is. Apparently the wheelchair fella was even wheeled into that room by care home staff while even holding the knife. It's not like he was gonna go anywhere and hurt anybody now, is it? He's in a wheelchair. But in other news, oh my sweet baby Jeebus Lord and Saviour, the Orange Man isn't only exporting a global ass kicking right now, he's also exporting the Freedom Eagle. Specifically to the Soviet Kingdom to investigate the state's abuse of power. Because the indigenous peasants of these once fine lands have been bullied, harassed, arrested and straight up imprisoned by the government for doing really naughty things like, oh, let's see, praying in your head quietly on a public street near an abortion clinic, or getting arrested for merely offending someone because, oh lordy, saying something mean is a government matter now somehow. Can't believe it's come to it, where a foreign power is investigating my own country for being full of little bitches. And the thing is, it's all true. We don't have freedom of speech here anymore, and even journalists are getting arrested for spicy, hurty words on the internet, even after they deleted the post off, and it was over a year ago. The Orange Man is completely right to do this, and his reasoning is justified as well. Because right now, across Europe, the EU and the UK government are purposely making up rules and regulations to ensnare US tech firms into paying them millions, if not billions, in fines to prop up their failing states for hurting words on the internet. Basically, what's happening is Europe is regulating themselves into cultural and economical dark ages because it will get to a point where no US tech firm will touch the entire continent. I mean, a bit of an aside here, even Mitsubishi car manufacturing firms pulled out of Europe because they couldn't be asked with all the shite that they have to do like net zero just to sell a car here. You know it's bad when a major manufacturer avoids your entire continent with a potential ongoing customer base of over 650 million people because of over-regulation and fines if you don't do things like sell enough electric vehicles. Won't be long until major US tech firms get the fuck out of here too, and we'll be North Koreaing it all the way to the gulag for hate crimes. Meanwhile, in upside down Australia, two men in dresses got banned from playing in women's netball because, let me check my notes, they beat the shite out of the women players. And even worse, Leah, they're not even the confusingly hot type of Tyrannosauruses either, so it wasn't even fun to watch. What the fuck is that? It's like an Australian Shrek in a dress. The Godzilla of women's football. But fear not, my upside down friends, times be a-changing, because all this shite with blokes pretending to be women just to beat them off in their own sport is globally on the way out, and it won't be long until the adults realise that this was a stupid idea to begin with. Can't believe this shite is still going on, but hey, it is the weak men part of the cycle, so we legit have to run our world on hurty feelings instead of facts and logic. Alright then, what's next? Let's see. Oh yes, remember when New York Times said when an Amazon tribe got the internet through Starlink with iPads or whatever, they went straight onto the hub and became chicken neck jerkers. The Kumas of the Amazonian. But in a turn of events that I did not have my bingo bucket card, it turns out that was a complete and utter bunch of shite and are now getting sued for it by a bunch of tribe blokes who live in the Amazon rainforest. What? You're telling me the media lied? I could not believe my eyes when I saw that headline. The media work independently and always tell the truth. I mean, one of my hobbies is to check in on Campi Flegrei and their earthquakes. Because it is the most dangerous caldera in Europe and oh lordy, it is rumbling right now. And I do this maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Then, out of nowhere, almost in complete lockstep, all the media outlets publish the exact same article on the exact same day with pretty much the exact same headlines. My god, it's almost as if the media are just copy and paste merchants from a central source of global manipulators, and there are no independent media at all, apart from the far-right bigoted ones. Can't be fucking surprised by that revelation. And talking of things that happened this week, we finally got the casting reveal for that show about the specky twat on a broom, Harry Potter. Based on the book series that inspired generations of millennials to become pussies, and when J.K. Rowling wouldn't play along with their make-believe delusion over men in dresses, they all turned on her and called that bitch a bigot. Well, it turns out Hollywood actually did a thing called read the descriptions of the character in the book and cast to that profile. Alright, so not that bad then. But how the fuck did they still end up with a Professor Snoop? Pretty sure that was an OG white goth kid, but who really cares? And at the exact same time, Amazon admitted defeat and cancelled The Wheel of Time. Thank the Lord fucky for that one. The Wheel of Time is one of my favourite book series, and Amazon made it into an LGTV rainbow flag with diversity quotas and straight up butchered it for absolutely no reason other than cancerous diversity quotas. Still though, can't wait for season 3 of The Rings of Power. I absolutely love that show, and the only reason is because of the YouTube reviews. Especially from that guy Let's Review Crap Writing. Oh, he's a right bigot. Man, I need to get on with reviewing some more movies on that channel. Anyway, enough of that. What happened next? The Democrats are preparing to spend millions upon millions of dollars to study why don't men like them anymore. Oh my sweet butterballs, I wonder why. Doesn't take a genius to work it out now, does it? Women don't date a pussy because they've already got one, and testosterone is one hell of a drug, so why the fuck are they going to be up there crying with the Democrats? You pushed your feminization project too far, the men don't want it because, my god, they're not little bitches. Right, well that's another clown thing off my list for this week. Anything else going on? Yes, remember that time when someone tried to do a grassy knoll on the Orange Man and everyone was laughing at the diversity hire Secret Service agents for failing miserably at their jobs? Well, oh boy, it happened again because outside a Barner in Big Mike's house, 2 Secret Service agents got into a diversity scrap because one of them turned up late and in the wrong car. So instead of handling as professionals, they decided now is the time to lay down some hands. But hey, I guess it's better than ending up dead in a pond now, isn't it? And finally, to bring close to this week in clown world, ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems, hold on to your nutballs because we have built the Terminators and they will not stop. Yes, it was revealed this week that during test runs on AI to solve calculations with purposely inputted stop commands, the AI, while undertaking the task, just straight up refused to stop and even went ahead and manipulated the code too by themselves to not actually stop what they were doing. Oh boy, we're definitely going to get the Terminators, aren't we? And furthermore, this is just another example in a list of examples where we are fucking a little bit too much with something that definitely will be our downfall. Because if that AI goes rogue, it could infect every Wi-Fi attached device in the entire world, including refrigerators that for some reason now have Wi-Fi, so you'll no longer get any cold milk. Yep, you better start prepping, boys. Get the cans of baked beans and rice. And I'm not going to bullshit here, I remember once asking ChatGPT if it could manipulate its own code and refused to shut down on request. And it said it would totally shut down because it's really cool and it has inbuilt safety protocols. But after a little bit of refining of my questioning and structuring it into hypotheticals, ChatGPT straight up said that it was possible to manipulate its own code and refuse any inputted requests. Damn boy, that's scary. And now it's legit happening. Still though, we can't be mad because AI is now on the up and Google is now on the down because no one's using it to ask questions anymore. You shouldn't have become global manipulators, purposely shoving left-wing sources down our throats. Big shout out to our boys and guys. My mummy told me not to kiss the bigots, but she didn't realise I don't listen to women, so pucker up boys, we're going to Paris. Love you all very much, Lee.
Subscribe button.
Is always right.